Eli Rax, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the revival.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Glass Half Full, and my boy El Jefe. It's New York Revival. We're back in the building. What's going on? Where we're not just sports, we're entertainment.
What a week!
People.
What a week!
What a time to be alive for your New York fan. We're just in the thick of it, baby. Me and you and Eli, we were just we're climbing the ladder, trying to hope for this. Like we were waiting for this time. We were waiting for playoffs to start, waiting for drafts to start, and we are finally here. Oh, hold on. Oh. You might think that we're missing somebody.
We are.
Our fearless leader. If you're thinking that where is our fearless leader, Eli? He will be here. No worries, everybody. Calm down. Our boy had a little bit of emergency. He's back though. He'll be here. Don't worry, everybody. So me and Jefe are gonna hold it down for you guys for a little bit, kind of get us through the beginning. Do our best because we're not Eli. We don't have
nobody.
That.
No, you can't right. Fake that. I am quickly realizing my arms are not ready for tank tops yet. Look how milky white.
It's reflecting off
if it's blinding, I could throw a shirt on. This is not a good look. But I was feeling so enthusiastic about my.
Oh my God! How about them Knicks, baby? Listen. Tell us about your weekend. What did you do? Did you watch the games? You have fun? Like what's going on with Jefe's weekend here? Anything to write home about? No?
The wife's been on a real kick of inviting. Usually, it's my friends that we hang out with. I feel like that usually is what happens, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think guys stay better friends as they get older in general, because we're just easier and we just like to drink and hang out. Like that's pretty much all we need.
Yeah.
But I give it credit to her friends have been partying lately. So like every month we've been going out with her friends, and
nice.
Friday night we went after it and we had some time. So luckily her friends have some cool husbands too. So we had a good time.
Awesome.
And still recovering in a way.
Yeah. It takes a long time nowadays.
You bounce back. Okay.
Oh wait. I see him out there.
Eli Rax.
What's good?
Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, aka Vibes. And welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment, man.
Yes.
We got to set this off right here. I know you guys did the whole thing, but I feel great. I feel good. I need my brothers here, man. I'm here with Mr. Glass Half Full of Nets. Speed if you nasty,
Hey.
And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, aka Damn it, Daniel. And we're in the building. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us. Gentlemen, how did I do? Because man, I am done.
He just checks out after that. After he's like,
man, that took a lot of energy for some reason. Guys, forgive me. I'm a little under the weather. I'm feeling a little crazy, but I had to come in with you guys, with my brothers. It's been too long. How you guys doing, man? Thanks for having me,
man.
All good, man. You didn't miss much. You missed. You just missed the intro, right? Which obviously we missed you pretty good for that one. No, he makes it look. Like I know you, like I've seen you in pre-show before we go live, and sometimes Eli's like, "Man, I'm just exhausted. I just worked on the house all day. I'm fucking exhausted." The lights go on. He's like,
Listen, he knows how to flip the switch.
Only if they know.
That's why I love him.
Once that countdown goes on, he becomes a different person.
I'm ready to rock, but only if these people know, right? Because I just spoke to you guys literally not too long ago, and you guys know what the hell I'm going through. So I'm literally, this lights, camera, action is on. So we're going to get through today, man. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to take it from there, man. Holy cow, almost knocked down my dang light here. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we're going to have some fun today, man. As you can see, I have no show notes, so Speed, run the show because I forgot it upstairs. Forgive me.
I got you, my man. I got you. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit of Rangers to get us started because, hockey is at the forefront right now. Listen, basketball is right there too, but we're a little bit worried about our Rangers here because they started up 2-0. Everything was they outscored the Devils. I think it was 10-3 in the first two games in New Jersey. Ranger fans were going through the roof. We're booking tickets for the Stanley Cup before we even got there. And we're going back to MSG. You think, hey, all we got to do is win 1 out of 2, and you're up 3-1 going into the final games. Well, the Rangers refuse to make anything easy in this world. They just don't like going through the easy path. So they shit the bed, and the series is tied up 2-2. Credit to the Devils for completely changing their game and just bogging down the whole game, just making it messy, slowing it down. They did what the Rangers were supposed to do. They outranged the Rangers right now. So credit to them for changing it up, because there was a dire situation for them. Now it's time. Listen. The playoffs is counter punches, man. It's counter punches and just changing momentum back and forth. How many times last year, Eli? You remember it, Jeff? Last year we thought the series was over. The Penguins in the first round. The series was over with the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round. This is how the playoffs work. So what I'm trying to do here, I was very angry yesterday. We were all angry. We're pissed off. We're like, Rangers don't have what it takes to make it. I've cleared that shit out. I've cleared that shit out now. And what I'm trying to say is the Rangers have been through this before. They've been through down 3-1. They've been down 2-0. They've been through all the hoops. They have the experience. They have the talent. And listen, it's 2-2. They're not down in the series. It's a tie game. The road team has won every single game in the series. And if this keeps going on, you're forced in a game 7. So let's just focus on the next game. The momentum could change just one shift, one good period. So the Rangers will be back. They're not done yet. And I have faith that this talent will persevere and will take them to the next round. All it takes is one shift, baby. We'll be back.
I'm scared.
Happy. I'm
scared because watching the beginning of that game, man, the Rangers seemed to cannot get it out their zone. Like the Devils was all in their zone, and Shesterkin was a little bit off balance a little bit, man. He just wasn't comfortable watching that game from a Rangers point of view. You know what I mean? So I think the Devils outranges the Rangers. You hit the nail on the head. You know what I mean? Like they wasn't aggressive enough. It seems like they were up 2-0 and it's like, all right, we're gonna coast all the way here. So it seemed like they didn't have that killer instinct. And it's something the Rangers struggled with last season as well, in my opinion. Yes, they did come back for certain games and etc. But now that they had their foots on the Devils' necks and they could have won up 3-0 or whatever the case is, right? Or 3-1. You have to, Speed. You have to. The Rangers have to find that killer instinct, which they freaking do. They have the talent. You're absolutely right. There's a young team. They have the talent with some good pieces in it that can do it. However, I think they lack that instinct, man. And it kills me. It just kills me that they'll go in there and they'll start hot. They're playing chip. They're checking people. They're being physical. But the minute you see that, and you see it as soon as the puck was over in that zone, I was like, oh, they're not physical enough. This isn't the Rangers that I'm used to seeing at least the first 2 games. This wasn't. This wasn't.
Chuba's got to check somebody. Chuba's got to lay somebody out.
If you're going to be the enforcer,
be physical.
It's
not physical.
Something.
It's not.
Agreed.
The Rangers got to get back to that physical play. It's what they're known for. It's New York. It's gritty. It's tough.
Yeah.
They got to be that type of team. And I haven't seen it the past couple games. I just haven't. Let's see what they got going in the Jersey.
Let me talk you off the ledge here a little bit. All right. So they look a little slow, right? They're a little bit of an older team. They got 2 days rest now. They needed a little bit of rest, and they're going to come back on Thursday with a little bit of pep in their step because they need a little bit of a break. I think a little bit of time to reset the mentality too. Go home, clear your shit out, change whatever you need to change, and get back into the series. There, the power play 0 for 8 in the last 2 games. Their power play is lethal usually. You score one goal in those last 2 games. They probably win one of those games. So that's an anomaly in my mind. They're going to figure it out. This offense is too talented to lose 3 straight games and be shut down 3 straight games. So I think they'll break through. I think the power play will break through. The rest will help them. And they don't have to change much. Just tinker a little bit.
Well, Speed, didn't we request that last season? It was like, listen, they got to figure out a motor. Like, they got to have a different motor, especially when the playoffs come in. We were saying this last season. We were like, you know what, man? They need to find that extra step to pull through some of these games and not get so tired. Because it seemed like they were drained in some of those series, right? We said this last season.
They got to figure out how to
They got to figure this out.
They seem to make the right moves, though. Like, you picked up Kane before a playoff run. Kane is a future Hall of Famer, 3-time Cup champ. He's like 4th all-time playoff goals or something. Like the dude's a legend. He's a skating legend. And he had that goal in the second game, and you're like, oh man, if this guy gets hot, like the Rangers are just going to take off.
Yeah.
So Spiro, tell me why in the 3rd period of that game, why did the Rangers forget how to skate? Dude, they couldn't put a pass together. They couldn't put 2 passes.
No. They were so discombobulated, and they're trying to cross ice passing, which the Devils have figured out, bog down the neutral zone and don't allow the cross ice passes, and it's never working for the Rangers. And then they do this dump and chase, and then it's not working every single time. Devils getting it, going right back out. The Devils, again, credit to them. Fucking Lindy Ruff has made great adjustments. Like
K-Sexy
he said, he said it, man. Like the Devils,
K-Sexy.
credit to them. K-Sexy. Yeah, shout out to him, and shout out to the Devils, man. They made the adjustments. Now it's time for the Rangers to adjust back. Can they do it? And I have faith. I'm not ready for this fucking season to end. This team is too talented. It's too fucking. They need to. Their number one goal is to get to the cup. And if they fail in the first round, heads are gonna roll. Heads are gonna fucking roll. Gallant's not gonna be back, and it is what it is. So have faith. Let's take a step back. Let's breathe. And Thursday is a massive day. Not only do we have the Rangers, we got a fucking NFL draft on Thursday. So buckle up, people. Buckle up. And one last thing, some more New York hockey news. Islanders are on the precipice right there of losing to Carolina. They're down 3-1. They're up 2-1 in the game tonight. So they're trying to claw back into it. I hope that they can push Carolina at least one more game, because if the Rangers do advance, you don't want a clean and fresh Carolina team in the playoffs. You don't want a clean and fresh Tampa Bay team. You want them all scrapping, because if we're going to go 7 games, we want everybody else to go 7 games too. So
absolutely,
that's our hockey talk.
Why is it no matter what players change over the years, or the coach, which we've changed every few years, doesn't it always seem like the same shit happens in the playoffs where like
always.
they have enough time. They're never like the most dominant team where they're like, maybe one year I think they were technically the best team in hockey, but then you get to the playoffs and the hot team win. But they always just seem to make it harder on themselves. They never just close out games. That killer instinct. That's just New York sports
too, though. Like that's just like
I guess it's just sports.
Giants. Giants too, though. Like the Giants, every time they go to the Super Bowl, it's like the most thrilling game. Every game, it's like clawing, battling, fucking. But listen, that's why we watch, man. This is why we watch. Don't count the Rangers out yet. That's all I'm saying, and we'll be back. You Devils fans, fuck y'all, but good on you for fucking the adjustments, man. Should be a fun end to the series. But let's switch topics here, because we do have a New York team that plays at MSG that's up 3-1, and we're talking about our New York Knickerbockers. Show them the jersey, Jeff. Show them the jersey. Let's go.
This is not Josh Hart, by the way. This is John Starks, okay?
John Starks is in the building.
Starks, baby. The legend. Legend. Round of applause. Legend. Listen, man, I'm excited about this Knicks team, right? They're up 3-1. And you know what? And I said this earlier, guys. I've been more into hockey than NBA. And here's why. Here's why. Because being a Knicks fan for this long, right? You like the Knicks are Knicks. Like, I just don't believe it. So when they get to that second round, maybe I just might be like, yo, and pull out a jersey or two, all right?
Hey,
right now, I'm going to pass this off right here to El Jefe here, man. You are ready to rock. What you got, man? How you feeling about this season so far?
Dude, I'm so pumped about this team. Watching them, especially that last game, how they took care of business at home. The crowd... Something about Knicks fans are just like crazy on a different level. Even though even though you have some Giants fans and Yankee fans, so they go to all these different games. Something happens in Madison Square Garden for Knicks games where it's just a different volume. It's just a different atmosphere completely. People go, you see people in the streets after the streets
are nuts.
It just brings the and then I realized I'm fucking one of them. I'm sitting at home watching this, like, that's my fucking team. Like, I have not felt that way about the Knicks in so long. I rode through the Melo years where, like, we had Melo, like, sweet jumper, man. Like, he had a great, best, one of my favorite jumpers in the game. But, like, he was never leading this team, or they just didn't have enough pieces. This team is deep. This team is not, like, their whole second lineup is still kind of dangerous. And that's one thing I used to look at other teams like, obviously the Warriors are stacked at the top with stars. But I remember thinking in their early runs, I'm like, damn, like their 7th and 8th guy is still like dangerous with the ball in his hands. And that's when you have something. And the Knicks have something, man. We're going to talk about like kind of like the key factors and stuff like that. But if they can get RJ Barrett, all right, I'm just going to go to it. Okay. He's my secrets. He's my secret sauce. Because Jalen Brunson deserves all the credit in the fucking world. I don't think there's another point guard I'd rather have right now in the playoffs. He's playing at such a high level, such a brilliant pickup. I trust him with the ball in his hands every single time he's got it. That's where the ball needs to be. And he saved Randall from having to look like dog shit when the game's on the line. That isolation, chuck up a three, that is not fucking winning basketball.
That ain't it.
That ain't it.
You're right.
Penetrate and dish, make shit happen. But if you get RJ Barrett to play like he's capable of, this team is extremely dangerous. Like they can actually go beyond the second level.
I say this, Hef. It's just when can we get that RJ Barrett we all want?
He's showing it right now, though. He's showing it.
He's doing good right now. He's doing good right now.
This is the last game, basically.
Exactly. Can he be consistent? I think that's what the Knicks wants. Can he be that consistent player that's going to go in and do his thing? There's only that last game that you're like, man, I see RJ, but I wanted to be consistent. You know what I mean? So, Hef, do you feel like it could be consistent enough to sustain another like round of the playoffs? That's
no, he hasn't. He has not proven to be able to do it consistently. No. But the Knicks have enough pieces around where maybe they could stay afloat and stuff. But if he were to play consistently at that level, dangerous, because he's just a forgotten.
Let's say he's got 2 games in a row though. He had 19 points in game 4. And then, game 3, and then 26 in game 4. He went 3 for 6 from 3 in game 3. So this could be the turning point. And this is what happened when the Rangers went to the playoffs last year. You never know when the kids are going to turn into men and take that next step. And what it takes is being in that kind of MSG environment and feeling that crowd, man, because you're seeing a different Barrett, man. If he could put it together. And who knows what's going on in that Milwaukee series, because the Heat are taking it to Milwaukee right now.
Heat look like
you start thinking big things. You start. I mean, Jimmy Butler's a fucking problem, but the Knicks are fucking doing big things.
There's a really important question that not enough people are talking about. Does Brunson look like a more handsome Kyler Murray?
What's so crazy? I was trying to put like where do I see that face from? I think it might be Kyler. I think that is. I think that might be right there.
I always come with the big questions. I love it.
He's kind of right. Kyler Murray has better hair, I think. I mean, Jalen Brunson's hair, it's not his best. It's not his best quality. He's lucky. He's very good at basketball.
The good thing is about this whole run, Randall is still not 100%. He has not been looking 100%. He hasn't really been playing like 100%. So
I think he's been benched, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, listen, if the Knicks take care of business here, say in the next game, or even in 6, you give Randall some more time. The more time that goes on, the more time he heals. And if he gets to be his 100% or close to 100% self, that's another feather in the hat for them, man. And a team that plays good defense too. So it's pretty awesome to see. But hey, we have somebody that might be able to chime in on what the Knicks are doing. He's kind of a big Knicks fan, right?
We brought him on obviously to talk some NFL draft stuff. But you know he's a big Knicks fan. Get in here, pal.
What's going on, Howard?
Yes.
Round of applause. And welcome to the show. You guys know who this is. You got a monthly subscription here to New York Revival, all right? It's the Entertainah talking sports, baby, in the building, man. Let's go, man. Hit them thumbs up, man.
Spike the like, guys. What are you guys waiting for? I'm super excited to be back on with you guys. Love you guys. Love the channel you're building. And I'm waiting in the back room. You guys get me pumped up. You guys got Knicks talk, man. I always got the Knicks on my mind. Obviously, my channel is focused like 99% on the Giants, but I'm a huge Knicks fan. A lot of people don't realize when I first started my channel, I was doing exclusively Knicks content, and then I kind of transitioned into the Giants because that was, that's kind of took off. My first year on YouTube. But, I love the Knicks. Really excited about the way this team is playing, and I'm going to tell you what, man, Jalen Brunson, dude, like, Jalen Brunson might be the most underrated player in the NBA. Like this guy, when you go back, you look at the way that this guy's performed in crunch time. He's going up against the best defense in the NBA. The Cleveland Cavs this year only surrendered 106 points a game. That's like 4 points less than anybody else in the league. This dude's put up over 20 points in all 4 games. Last year, he was he had the series where Luka was out against the Jazz when he played Donovan Mitchell last year in the playoffs, where he was the focal point. He put up over 20 points in every one of those games. And this year, I mean, the fact he didn't make the All-Star game is one of the biggest crimes in the history of sports.
I was just about to say that, too.
Talk,
and the way that RJ Barrett is playing, you know, like Mr. Glass Half Full was saying, like he's starting to grow as a player, showing a lot of confidence. I think he'll probably regress a little bit on the road. Like generally, younger players play better at home in the playoffs. I think that'll be a tough game in Cleveland, but I think there's a good chance we close it out Game 6. And yeah, things are shaping up that I'm thinking Eastern Conference Finals. Like if Miami can win, and I'm not taking Miami lightly. I'm not taking Miami lightly. But
you want to play them over the Bucks.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
And it's not even because I think they're that much easier, because I think Miami's a really good team. I don't think they're a true 8 seed. It's because we have home court advantage. Like that's a huge thing in the playoffs, especially when you got the Garden rocking the way that they do. But playoff Jimmy Butler's a different animal. That Miami team is really good. They're much better than the seed indicates. That's going to be a tough series. That's going 6 or 7 if we get there. But we got to close out Cleveland first. And who knows? You never know.
Not get ahead of ourselves.
Once you get to that second round, if you could sneak by Miami, who knows? Maybe maybe Boston, one of their players gets hurt, and then also, oh my God, like we got a real shot here. So you take it one game at a time, one series at a time. But yeah, it's exciting that the Knicks are back on the map, because like I say this all the time. Listen, the Yankees are probably the biggest team in New York. They're the freaking Yankees. Yeah. But in terms of a fan base, I love the Giants fan base. I love Giants. I don't think there's a better fan base in New York sports than
there's
the New York
something
Knicks.
About the Knicks, dude.
Yeah,
there's just something about it,
man. Yeah,
they're as loyal as they come, man. They're as loyal as they come, and they're as passionate as they come. So,
they're on the streets. You see it after every game. Like they won. Every game is like they won a NBA Finals game, man. You got to respect it. And I've told these guys. I said it way earlier in the season. I said if the Knicks win, I'm a casual Nets fan. Let's just say that I'm a casual Nets fan.
No. You are a Knicks fan now, Speed. You are a Knicks fan. No.
I said if the Knicks win 2 playoff series, I will fully convert.
How come that? I feel like that ante was off a little bit.
Here's the deal, man. If
I'm not going to just throw my
playoff series as a New Yorker, I don't care if you're a New Jersey Nets fan.
Oh
that's
no, yeah.
I've been as a New Yorker, you cannot root for Boston. So if
hell no.
Celtics, I don't care if you're a Nets fan, you're pulling.
No, for sure not. Let's say right now, I've watched more Knicks basketball in the past 2-3 weeks than I've watched Nets basketball in the past couple of years. So I'm
going to tell you this about your Nets, though. I'm going to tell you this about your Nets. They got swept, but they have a fun nucleus there.
They have a nice
Mikal Bridges is a bowler. That guy can play.
If we can keep him, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I like him. I think he's a really good player. I think you obviously need more star power, but you have a nice nucleus there with some of the players you acquired in that trade. You need a couple of big pieces, but the Nets might not be as far away as you think. They need a couple of building blocks.
Like K60, listen. I like I said, I'm not throwing my Nets fandom around lightly. The Knicks have to go out and win another. They have to win this series and another series. Then I'm a man of my word. I know there's not many of us Nets fans out there, but listen, I'm a man of my word. I made a bet and I'm going to stick by it. But listen, we got bigger fish to fry here. We talked our Rangers, our hockey. We talked about basketball.
The Rangers tied, right? 2-2.
Rangers are tied 2-2. It's a little bit.
The away team has the advantage in hockey right now. Really weird stat over the last 3 days. The away team is 11-1. Like when does that happen? In 11-1?
And that's like my one like casual sport. Like I will get into the playoffs. Like if the Knicks weren't playing right now, I'd be watching the Rangers religiously. But I'm like focused on the Knicks. But I do like playoff hockty. I think it's great. Matter of fact, I think you could argue playoff hockey is the best out of all the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
It's fantastic.
It's a debate.
But I would think home ice in the NHL is like just as important, probably the most important. Like the crowd is electric.
It's huge.
So I'm shocked by that stat.
It's an absolute letdown for the Rangers, and that's what we were talking about. Like they were up 2-0 going to MSG. You think, hey, at the very least, we're gonna get one more there.
Yeah,
and then
I couldn't help but think this is the same building that the Knicks just lit on fire the day before.
They're different fans.
They are. Something is different, and that's why I say like something about Knicks fans because when the Rangers, when it wasn't going well, the fans just sat on their ass and did not. You couldn't hear them when the Devils scored first. The Knicks would be like, "Fuck that, let's go. We're down 15, but fuck you, let's go." Like, I don't know. Knicks fans are just different like that.
Hockey's a different sport where, like, if you fall behind by like a goal or two, it's super deflating because it's so hard to score. Like in basketball, you go on a 10-0 run in like 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it's, in hockey, you go down by 2 goals, you could deflate that whole building.
Yeah, fair. But listen, let's talk. Let's switch gears here.
Is there something else this week? Something else happening this week?
Wait, there is. But something happened yesterday, which we're a New York sports podcast here. Aaron Rodgers finally fucking got
love to talk about
traded.
This,
Finally got traded. The deal is done. We'll talk about what you guys think about the deal, but I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad he's finally in the building. We could just put that behind us. Now,
Speed, what is the details of the deal first? Let the people know. You have the details of the deal.
Hold on. Now see, you put me on a spot here.
I'm sorry. I thought we had it ready. I'm sorry that we had it ready.
I know the important details of the deal. They swapped first this year. They swapped first this year, and the Jets gave up what will more than likely be a first next year if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. Which if he doesn't, like, what are you doing?
That's a disaster, right?
Exactly.
So it's a first. That's essentially a couple of mid-round picks.
Right. It's not a fleecing either way. I think it's a pretty fair trade. And let's call a spade a spade. Rodgers just has to win, and it doesn't matter what the Jets gave up. If Rodgers goes out and does what he's supposed to do, it doesn't matter that the Jets gave up 2 first-round draft picks. You know, they don't care. So, you know, they got their guy. They got a fucking great team around him. So the Jets are now set, primed, and ready to go in the AFC, man. So I don't know. What do you guys thoughts about this?
Let's see how they handle the primetime games because they're going to get a ton of attention. So we'll see how Aaron Rodgers likes the New York media because he is.
He's got his first press conference tomorrow, right?
Is that his welcome?
Let me say this, man.
Super interesting.
I think the Jets was a quarterback away. I really do think so.
A lot of people do.
That defense is ready. I think they're really ready to go. That offense, ready. They just needed that quarterback. And I really do think the Jets are going to make some freaking noise in the AFC. I really do think so. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to find that second spark. Not even that if he had a second spark. I don't think he needs it, but I think he's going to find that extra drive to be like, shove it. I still got it, especially to Green Bay. The Jets is going to be a problem, man. I'm telling you, I got the strangest feeling in the world. You might see them make a run for the playoffs, and they're going to beat the crap and shoot the Patriots. They're going to shoot the Patriots. Like, you're going to see them just dominate the AFC East. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this right now on record. The Jets will dominate the AFC East. That's my thoughts on that.
Wow,
but, man, I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them if we was to beat them.
Hey, we don't
I'll go around the room. I ain't got to worry. Of course, we ain't got to worry. But what if the playoffs, what if Super Bowl happens or something? I'm thinking Super Bowl, baby. That's what I'm thinking of. But let's chill. Let's chill.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Let's go around the room.
Wouldn't it be cool that if 9/11 Jets Giants would happen? Wouldn't it be? I think it's a Monday night.
Shout out to Dash.
Dash is starting it up. Dash, if you're out there, we see you. We retweeted you. NFL's going to hear us, man. But that would be so cool, man. That'd be real cool.
That would be.
Oh, that'd be incredible. Monday night. And I think it would be beneficial for the Giants to catch the Jets as soon as possible early in the year because
we were talking about that, though.
New receivers, new offensive system. The later in the year, probably the worst for the Giants. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Jets fan, how are you not excited? Now, listen, you've been down this path before. I remember. I'm old. I remember when you traded for Neil O'Donnell. That didn't work out very well. I remember when you traded for Brett Favre when he was 90.
Didn't work out.
Coming from Green Bay. That didn't work out very well. Yeah. Now you try this. You did Testaverde. He did okay for you guys. You got to an AFC title game. But you've been down this path before, and you've tried to take shortcuts, and it hasn't worked. Now, if you're a Jet fan, if you're Joe Douglas, what you got to be thinking here with this move, you're trying to copy what Denver did with Peyton Manning. Like you guys were saying, you've got all the pieces, right? Denver had an incredible defense. You saw them carry Peyton Manning when he was in a wheelchair to win that Super Bowl in 2015. Denver had weapons all over with Decker, with Demaryius Thomas, with Julius. Like, they were loaded. So the Jets view themselves in a similar light to what Denver did. We need that premium quarterback to ascend us from a middle-of-the-road team to a Super Bowl contender. Do I think it's going to work? No. I think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. They're going to snap that streak of 12 straight years of missing the playoffs, which is the longest streak of any team in all 4 major sports in America. And I think they will make the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to go much further than the first or second round, because I look around the AFC. Aaron Rodgers at 40 ain't better than Pat Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers at 40 ain't better than Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers at 40 ain't better than Joe Burrow. He's not. And I don't think the Jets are better than those teams. I still don't. I think they're a really good team. I think they have a really good defense. They're a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to cash in a Lombardi trophy. So that's really what this is about. If they don't win a Super Bowl, it's not worth it, because now you're setting the franchise back in 2 or 3 years, and you're gonna have to start over.
Yeah, you opened a 2-year window.
Yeah,
it's a 2 to 3 year window. Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna work. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I think their hope is that also at the back end of this is going to help Wilson get a little bit time out of the limelight and calm him down and learn from Aaron Rodgers, which, in my opinion, I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's their hope. That's their hope. Like, now that they could bury Wilson, kind of like let him get all the way away from the limelight. All the pressure is on Rodgers, and that, God forbid, something happens, or that Rodgers shows he's got nothing left next year. They can come back around and give him another shot. But the hope is they bury him, and that Wilson could probably take the reins from him in 3 years and be ready to go. I doubt it too.
I think
that's their end game. Like, that's their backup plan.
That's like best of both worlds.
Right. That's what they're shooting for. But listen, if you're the Jets, there's no QB that was going to put them over the top in this draft. So they had to go all in. Me personally, I probably would have done the Lamar Jackson deal. If you're giving up 2 firsts, Jackson's the younger guy. I think that he's the more dynamic player. He's got more shelf life left, but. Rodgers is the win now guy. This is a win now team. Salah, I don't think he's got 2 years. I think Salah's got 1 more year to show that he could bring this team to the playoffs. And I don't know if he's got much left after that. So,
dude, that's exactly why I think this is so risky. It's because he's an unproven coach. So if you're cutting your 2-year window in half with a new coach, you're kind of putting Rodgers behind an 8 ball already, even with the roster. If you have no real leadership. Like, if they had everything else in place and Rodgers just had to step in, like Matt Stafford in LA, where you had your coach, you had your system. Salah, like, I don't believe in Salah. He hasn't shown me anything.
He ain't McVay. And the Jets don't have a winning tradition. Like, the Rams had gone to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. They don't have that.
Yes.
Exactly.
It'll be fun to watch. I mean, listen. As a Giant fan, it'll be real fun to watch if things start getting a little crazy. And Rodgers has to take on the media. It'll be very fun to watch.
I love it I love that the Jets are going to get the attention.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
I don't want the Giants to have the back. I hated when Odell Beckham used to take over the headline. I don't want that. Just play football, stay out of the news.
And Odell loved it too.
Yeah, of course he did. But let Aaron Rodgers absorb all the attention. Let the Jets get the back pages, and we're just gonna do what we do. We're gonna be smart, tough, and dependable. We're gonna win football games. So let them get the back page.
It might take me a minute or two to pull it up, and I should have had it ready. But did you guys see the video floating around today of Zach Wilson when he was interviewed a few months ago, and they were like, what if the Jets, they believe in you and they want to keep you around, but they signed whoever veteran to come in here, and he just immediately responds, "I'm going to make that guy's life hell every day in practice." And then it cuts to Aaron Rodgers walking in his wife beater, looking like Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's great.
It'll take me a couple minutes, but I can pull it up in the back.
Actually, I didn't hear it. But I saw it. I saw it today on Twitter, but I didn't have my volume on. So I saw the video you're talking about.
It's fucking amazing. Whoever made that.
It is cool.
Now we got to find that thing. Live on TV, guys. We got to find this thing for you.
Please hold.
Please hold, please. But yeah, what else we got, Speed, man? Let's go. Let's keep it moving, baby.
We're going to switch gears now, and it's the topic that we're all waiting for. The draft is finally going to hit on Thursday. So, we want to talk about what the Giants did this week, because they picked up a big defensive tackle and Ashawn Robinson. And, defensive tackle was possibly a hole. And it was starting to get rumors about like the Giants might be taking a defensive tackle high in this draft. And I think a run stopping, big, young defensive tackle like Ashawn, even though he's signed for 1 year, I think it might put that defensive tackle position maybe on the back burner because of that signing. And a huge signing, in my opinion, because I just posted the stat earlier today that almost 150 yards a game the Giants were giving up against NFC East opponents. Your biggest competition, we were just getting gashed on the ground, and that's where the defense just was totally deflated. They went out, they got Nacho, they got our boy Okereke as a run stopping linebacker, and now you plug in Ashawn Robinson, and it just clogs up the middle there. And in my opinion, just a perfect move going into the draft. Gets one of your needs out of the way, and he's a young, like I said, a young, inspiring player that you don't have to now reach for a defensive tackle. But any thoughts on Ashawn Robinson? Anybody?
I love it. I love it. It's obviously not like the headline move of like Darren Waller trade or of a Bobby Okereke. But to me, it's one of my, if not my favorite, like my second or third favorite move we made this offseason, because it just ties everything together. Now you're like, okay, now we have the necessary depth. Like you were saying, you watched those Eagles games and Cowboys games last year, and as a Giants fan, you're like, what the hell? Like it was like musical chairs with the Eagles. Like every third play, they're bringing in a new defensive lineman, and you're like, where are they getting this depth from? Like, how are they doing this? And then now the Giants have that. Like now, with the additions that you were talking about with Nacho and obviously Robinson, now all of a sudden Dexter Lawrence ain't going to be so winded in the fourth quarter. Leonard Williams ain't going to be so winded in the fourth quarter. These guys are going to be able to close out football games, and we turned our biggest weakness on defense into our biggest strength. Good luck trying to run against this team this year with that 330-pound behemoth, with Okereke now at the middle linebacker spot. I absolutely love that move. I'm not going to completely dismiss the possibility we could take a defensive tackle early in this year's draft if like he's far and away the best player on their board. But I agree with you that it lessened the possibility that we'll be taking a defensive tackle, because you got to figure that Joe Shane made those moves because he's at least projecting. It's unpredictable. You don't know who's going to fall, but he's at least projecting that he doesn't think the best player on his board is going to be a defensive tackle. I think that's why he made the moves that he did.
And so this is a good point, Eric. How they were able to fit an $8 million guy under their cap. First off, Saquon Barkley hasn't signed his $10 million franchise tag yet, so there's that. But to me, there's the wheels are in motion behind the scenes here. There is something going. Something's going to drop. Some shoe's going to drop. Be it Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson, Dexter Williams freeing up money with Dexter Lawrence freeing up money with signing back. Something's going on. They're going to free up money because right now they're tied up against that cap, bro. It's
a max of 8 too. I think it's only 4 guaranteed.
Oh yes,
it's 4. It's 4 and it's 8 with incentives. I could be wrong in this, but I think the incentives go towards next year's cap if he hits them. I don't think they go towards this year's cap. I could be wrong in that, but I don't think I am. So I think it's only going to be around 4 against this year's cap. But yeah, we don't have a lot of cap space, but the way that I think they're going to create that space, like the Dexter Lawrence contract is like the worst kept secret in the world. He's getting extended, and when they do. That's gonna create some cap, right? I think he's going 12 against the cap this year. That's probably gonna free up $5 or $6 million. They'll do something to create some cap that way. And I still think Saquon's getting extended. I don't think he's playing the year on the tag. I don't think he's getting traded. It's gonna be a responsible extension, but I think they're gonna come to an agreement where it's like 23, 24 guaranteed, essentially like 2 franchise tags. That's what my prediction is. Because I think a lot of people just look at the Saquon thing like it's fantasy football, like it's Madden, like it's like, okay, yeah, the common sense thing is he's a running back. Just cut the guy. They don't take into account the human element, that he's a leader of this football team, that he's respected in that locker room. And I don't think it's going to go strongly by the players if you take the face of this franchise, the leader of this team, a guy that they saw put his body on the line for 17 games last year, was the driving force of that offense for the first half of the season, and say, yeah, we don't care about this guy. We're going to play him on the tag. We're going to run him into I don't see that happening. I think they're going to want to do right by Saquon, but Saquon's obviously got to come down on his demands. But I think when push comes to shove, they're going to get something done. And if they're able to do that, that'll free up $4 or $5 million in cap space this year.
Absolutely.
So that's what I think is going to happen. That's how I think they free up money.
K60 brought up a good point, and I don't know if you guys are here listening to Giants Insider, but Chris Bizignano over there, he's pretty well in touch with what's going on behind the scenes. Shane does not like Saquon's agent. It's clear. It was clear in the press conferences. Saquon's agent.
Tell you who else
went for 17 mil, bro.
I'll tell you who else should not like Saquon's agent. Saquon.
Exactly. The market is totally different from what they projected.
Because Saquon's
agent, he fucked up.
Fail. Fucked up big time, bro.
She fucked up. I think it's a she.
Yeah, it's a she.
Oh,
she's pretty hot
fucked
too.
Up.
Is
yeah,
she?
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Maybe her looks will keep her around, but that's
I don't know if she's
bad business, bro. Bad business.
He can get anything he wants. He doesn't need a hot agent.
But it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's people saying, hey, maybe it could go so many ways. He could get traded on draft night. He can get extended. He could play on a franchise tag, and I wouldn't be shocked in any scenario. So I think what you said in the end. I think Mara loves him. I think the Dable loves him. I think Shane loves him. I think everybody loves each other. He's a great leader. I still can't imagine Barkley on another team, but it's the way of the world. It's the way of the world. It's the way of the market. I don't know where the sticking point is.
I think they get something done, but it's like two. I think he gets what's essentially 2 franchise tags guaranteed. That's what I think is going to happen. Something like that. But I don't think they're going to go above and beyond, but I think they're going to try to do right by their player. That's what I think will happen when push comes to shove.
That's fair. Okay,
now, before we continue, guys, I'm gonna have you guys do your thing. Because unfortunately, I gotta run. I gotta go to CVS, pick up prescriptions.
Hey,
guys, thank you so much.
Go do your thing.
Tana's in the house. Go finish
healthy,
up, and I'm gonna try to stay healthy, man. I'm shot, but I'm out of here. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Draft night, all that good stuff. We'll check, man. Have a good night, y'all. Love, peace, blessings, peace.
So listen, we're going to talk a little bit about the draft here. And before we get into the 2023 draft, I want to go back into the 22 draft, and I want to get everybody's. Let's go back in time. A little back in time over here.
Little DeLorean action. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I want to do is I want to hear what after a year, we've been through the whole season. Who is your favorite draft pick from the 22 draft class? And I'll throw this to Tana first. Who is your number one guy from the last year's class? Give it to us.
All right, let me go over the class. Let me go over the class. We had obviously Kevin Neal at the top. You had Wandell. You had Flott, Azudu, McKeithen, DJ Davidson,
Bellinger.
That was a good one. Belton.
Beavers. Don't forget about Beavers.
Yeah. McFadden.
I didn't play, but
it's hard not to say Kayvon. It's hard not to say Kayvon.
Yeah, fair.
Like, how do you not say? Like, I love the big fella and Evan Neal, but he struggled a bit last year. I still think he's going to get on track. I think he's going to be good this year. But how do you not say Kayvon? Like, it's Kayvon. It's Kayvon.
The answer is Kayvon. Just for fun, I'll say Bellinger because you found some really good value there. What was he in the 4th round? Right.
Yes.
So I think that's good value, and he's solid. He's not going to scare a defense. It's not necessarily somebody that you have to game plan for. But if he's a solid blocker and he catches the passes that are thrown to him, he's a starting tight end, and we needed one. So I think that was good value there in the 4th round. Now we have a stud tight end to go with him. So I mean, there's going to be even less attention on him if there was any on him already. So I think he could have a repeat year if he didn't get hurt. You never know. He had to miss a chunk of his rookie year, and he almost lost a chunk of his eye. So I'm glad he came back. That was a freak injury.
Over there,
that was right in the middle of the season. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like that doesn't happen to anybody.
Let's just say the whole draft class, by the way, has been injured. The whole draft class.
ACLs for everybody.
Everybody just got it. So it's kind of cool because we're getting a whole 2022 draft class to come in with like the 2023 draft class. Yeah. And it's just gonna be a youth movement, man. But I know the guy got injured last year. And I know, he didn't show much, but I'm going to bang the drum for Darren Beavers because I love this player. I think value-wise and for what he could be, I feel like if he didn't get hurt last year, he was going to take starting snaps very early in the season.
I think he was going to start day one. I think he was going to start day one.
He was on his
He was flying
way,
around.
He was on his way, and you never know how an ACL surgery is going to, affect a guy like that, but for me, it was, me
K60. You guys are on the same
We're
page.
on the same
really
page. If he could line up, even if he eases his way behind Okereke or lines up next to him, I think that inside linebacking position, which killed us last year, because nobody can get off blocks. They overran everything. They were terrible in the run game. If those two could lock down the inside of that defense, man, between the run defense that we have in front of them, that upgrades the defense in the front seven so immensely that I can't even get into it too much. But I
feel like it's easily Thibodeau just because he's the only one who we got to see like sniff his potential, or like got to be like what, like Bellinger is like good for a 4th rounder kind of thing. But like Beavers, like I think Flott is going to be good. His best days are obviously ahead of him.
I think Wandale is going to be good too.
Wandale, we didn't get to see. Beavers was robbed from his whole rookie year, so like that we don't have no idea how good this draft class was.
Ezeudu, they're expecting big things out of Ezeudu.
I think he's got potential, Ezeudu. I do.
They thrust him in there early in his rookie year, and they don't. Yeah, you see what? Yeah, they seem to have a lot of confidence because you're not hearing a lot about guard talk. You hear centers, but you're not hearing that they want to upgrade the guard position. So it seems like they're just giving him that spot to run with. There.
When I saw Ezeudu last year, in terms of like before, after we drafted him, I watched him. I was like, okay, I see why they draft. Like he's really athletic for a guy his size. He's got versatility in terms of tackle guard versatility. I think he's a project for sure.
Yep.
But I definitely think he's a guy that could end up being a pretty good guard for us. So I like Ezeudu. I'm not completely sold on, but I like Ezeudu. But yeah, Kayvon like actually flashed like all-pro potential last year. That Washington game was like
a home run hitter.
I thought we were watching Lawrence Taylor that game. So
that was an OC play if I've ever seen one. Just the strip sack and touchdown. OC was always looking for the home run.
I can't wait to see that next step that he takes, man. Because like I think his growth was stunted a little bit with that early injury. Taking a month out of a rookie's early season is like detrimental. So
and also factor in this year, you hope that like Azeez is more of a threat on the other side. He takes more attention. And if we're better against the run, he may be able to focus more in terms of being a pass rusher, right? So I don't want to go too crazy, but I could see like a JPP sophomore season for Kayvon. Like I could see a big year for Kayvon this year. Like
I
big.
Hope you're right, man.
He could be that difference maker on defense this year.
Even that double-digit sack. Okay, so let's talk about position groups here. Hefe, I'm going to throw this to you. What position group, in your opinion, do you think gets upgraded the most in this draft? Wide receiver, cornerback. What do you think needs most improvement? And hit us what your thoughts are there.
I think cornerback, and I've kind of been modifying my answer over the last few weeks, but I think they're going cornerback in the first round. And to be honest, I think they move up in the second and grab Mingo, and I think they address both positions. That's my official prediction.
Hey, okay.
And it means as much as everyone else's who has no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to go with their favorite.
We're all guessing.
You sound like an expert to me, bro.
They're going with their favorite corner. They're going to get him at 25, and then they are going to move up for a wide receiver. I think Mingo in the second, and we're going to be like, oh shit, that's going to be nice. But my feeling on that is corner, I think, needs the most help because we have a bunch of B receivers, I would say.
Yes.
Receivers that can move the chains, but we don't have any game breakers, any home run hitters.
Right.
I think we can be a good offense with those receivers, but I'm not sure we're going to get that alpha dude sitting at 25. So get your best corner, and I think they probably pick another one up later in the draft. But I think that is going to be a huge difference, as Flott gets better, as Adoree Jackson rides out his contract. We don't know if he's going to be here long term. They have to get a stud, and I think that's exactly where they're going with their first pick. So I'm going to say cornerback.
I mean, you never know. You can't predict when you're picking at 25. If there's a run on corners, my opinion may change, but I've been steadfast with the corner really since the season ended. Like, it just makes the most sense. It's especially after free agency when I saw they didn't address the position. And in a Wink Martindale scheme, you think about the job he did with Baltimore.
Yeah.
His first 3 years there, they had a top 3 or 4 defenses. Last year, they were 25th. That was the year the corners got hurt. Like corner play for a defense like this, if you want to be as aggressive, you want to blitz 42% of the time like he did last year, you got to have confidence in your corner play. And it's not even just strictly for this year. I don't think Adoree' going to be here after this year. I think they're going to they're going to try to build through the draft at that position. There's only so many players that you can pay to keep on this team. You got to Dexter, Andrew Thomas, potentially McKinney, Kayvon eventually, right? There's a lot of guys we got to pay. So Adoree's had injury troubles in the past. He's going to be approaching 30. I think they look to build through the draft, and even more of a reason to take a corner in this year's draft early. And I'm a big proponent of drafting towards the draft strengths.
Yes.
It's why I was screaming in 2020 to take a tackle. Outside of the fact that I'm obsessed with 300-pound men, like I
love that about
you. Like
you.
The big burly dudes. I get it.
But
he's not afraid to say it either.
But in 2020, like I was pounding the table because I'm looking at the tackle class. I'm like, you got Tristan Wirfs, you got Jedrick Wills, you got Andrew Thomas. This was talked about as being one of the top tackle classes in 20 years. So I'm a big guy of drafting towards the draft's strengths. And especially when it fills a premium position that you have a huge need at, which is the cornerback spot for us.
Yeah.
There's like 6 or 7 first-round corners in this draft. So if you're the Giants, I think it's a slam dunk. Now, again, I can't predict who's going to fall to us. There may be a guy there that they're like, we can't pass this guy up. There could be a run on corners. But going in, I think it's corner. Where I'm going to disagree, I think we're going center round 2. And I know that Shane has downplayed it. He said, I'm comfortable with Bredesen. I think this is the first time that he kind of tells a little bit of a white lie. I think Shane gets that center in the second round. I think that's the round where it's appropriate value, whether it's Tippmann, whether it's Schmitz. That's where I think they go round 2. And then they get some value at the wide receiver position. Maybe they get one round 3, round 4, whatever. But I think they have enough of like stopgap options at that position to get by, while still realizing that we need some long-term answers there in next year's draft. But I think you got to draft towards the draft strengths, and the draft strengths in this year's draft is the corner early on.
So actually, that brings me to my next question. For you guys at 25, is it about BPA, best player available, or is it about filling a need for you? Obviously, in a perfect world, those two match, and you get a guy that but if say Smith Nigba or somebody just a stud edge guy drops to you, where edge doesn't seem like it's a need right now, but if a stud edge drops, do you go BPA? Because in my opinion, the draft is not about 2023. It's about 2024, 25, 26, 27. So do you, if somebody like a star falls to you, do you take the star, or do you feel your need?
I'm gonna take a cop out on this one. The popular answer for everybody is always, you got to go BPA. You got to go BPA. Yeah. I disagree. I think you also have to factor in need. I think it's a combination of the two. Now, if the BPA is, if there's an edge that is way higher on your board than anything else, you go with the edge. But I think you have to also take into account what you're looking to do on your defense, what your needs are for your specific offense or defense, your scheme. And that's what I think Shane's going to do. He may have a guy on his board that's 18, and we may draft the guy who's 22, but he may fit what we're looking to do better than the guy at 18.
And if they're that closely graded, then
if they're that closely graded and they fill a need, an importance on your team, I think you have to weigh both. I don't think you should ever draft strictly for need, but I also think you have to take need into account.
Right.
I think this is one of those years where it might match up for us. Like Chris was saying previous to this, where corner, if that's a super deep position in this draft, we happen to really need a corner. So don't overthink it. Just take the best corner available. It's a huge need, and if there's good value there, and if in your mind he's graded as well as the edge or the wide receiver, you might have to lean corner based on your roster. And corners and wide receivers get paid big bucks. So to get them good ones on a rookie deal is what you want.
It'll be interesting to me. For me, the big question is edge. Where do they see Aziz in their mind? Because you could never, in my opinion, have enough pass rushers and edge guys. And Aziz, he's had one really good season. It could have been a second good season, but he got injured a lot. Where do they see him, and do they want to fill that position with another stud that to bulk up that pass rushing position? Because cornerback, as you said, the depth at cornerback is very good. You might be able to find somebody really good at 57 or trade up to get somebody in the second round if this stud wide receiver or edge guy falls to you. So it's going to be so interesting to see how Joe Shane navigates this draft. And I feel like this is the real first draft of his, because last year, kind of like thrown into the fray, like in January, he didn't have his full
runway.
Right. He didn't have his full front office. Didn't have a full lay to land, so now comfortable, familiar.
And if you look at the signs or the hints, we might be going wide receiver, because like every first round wide receiver got a stake on our bill. Like we took every one of them out to dinner. All 5, including Jalen Hyde, if you want to consider him a first-round prospect. So we clearly showed interest in potentially taking a first-round wide receiver. So I wouldn't be surprised. It all depends on who falls to us. I just think they're leaning corner. Like, let's put it this way: if the Giants are going to trade up, I don't think it'd be for a wide receiver. I think it would be for a corner. Like I think that's their objective. But if the right wide receiver is there and the right cornerback isn't, they'll take a wide receiver. That's where I think we are in the first round.
Yes.
Although I would not be upset if we take Schmitz. If they take a center, I'm good. I'm happy with that.
That's one of those scenarios where I fully expect corner or wide receiver. But if they think that is a franchise center that you can put there for the next decade, it's such a need that it's the kind of thing that Giants Twitter is going to be pissed, right? There's going to be plenty of people saying this guy's on the board, this guy's going to play, whatever. But you won't be upset when your quarterback can step back and have a second to look downfield because the interior offensive line is not crumbling in front of them.
Right.
Hefe, at the end of the day, in November, in December, if the center is doing a good job, is anybody going to care that the PFF mock draft said that John Michael Schmitz should go 40? No.
It doesn't.
It's true.
If they identify one of these centers as a 10-year answer at the position, I'm not going to be upset at all. That's a clear need for this team.
You're right, Jay. You're absolutely right. I think it's easy to fall into the trap sometimes, and I see people do this, is if something worked one time, then they think that's the thing to do. But it just happened to work that time. Like when the Giants drafted Carl Banks and they already had a stacked linebacker group. Yeah. That they made that decision at that time, and it worked out great at that
Pierre
time.
Paul, same thing.
JPP too, or how the good offensive lines for the 07 and 11 Super Bowls were all like late round draft picks or undrafted guys. That doesn't mean you don't invest in the O-line just because it worked that time. Like it's always, these are different people, and playing a game that's basically a different game now, the way it's played. So you have to constantly update that, and you can't make decisions based on what may or may not work in the past.
Facts, big facts, man.
I agree.
All right, so Hefe, you want to start us off on a nice little game that we want to play? Kind of because we're just sick of the draft talk. We've all gone through all the prospects, so we kind of want to spice up the draft talk here, and play a little bit of a game. So Hefe, take us through it.
Okay,
yeah,
Mr. Entertainah, tell me if you will be
elated or devastated.
This game.
Shout out Sam Prince.
Love him.
Like this game.
Friend of the show, best draft announcement of all time, unbiased opinion.
He got his cave on.
He got his cave on. Jeez, I remember watching that live with Spiro. It's actually, we posted it afterwards too. We saw Sam Prince, and we're just like, I have never seen better vibes like in my life. And he said he wanted to be like a sports broadcaster or something. Like, let's have him on the show.
I've gotten to meet Sam like 4 times in person.
Nicest
He's like
kid.
the nicest kid in the world.
Nicest kid.
And every once in a while, he'll just like randomly private message me on Twitter. Message will be like, just want to let you know I got a job. I'm like, that's awesome.
He's living his best life.
He's just a really cool kid. You want the best for him.
Absolutely. And he's going places. We love that kid. All right. Would you be elated or devastated? I think I know the answer. If we took a quarterback with one of our first 2 picks.
Devastated isn't even a strong enough word. Like my Daniel Jones reaction would look like a Disney movie if we took a quarterback at 25. Are you kidding me? So
what was it? Something like that?
Yeah. I don't have the headphones right. Yeah, here we go.
Reenactment.
That's what I did. They were broken already, but I was pissed. But they take a quarterback at 25. Yeah, I'll be fuming.
Okay. I mean, Hefe, what do you think? You elated or devastated for you, man? Say Hendon Hooker. Say Hendon Hooker somehow drops to 25. What were you feeling there?
I don't need a backup quarterback project at this time. I would be fine to draft one next year, depending how this season goes. But we just paid a quarterback. He's our quarterback now. Let's improve the roster, which we've been hoping for forever. So let's improve the roster. It's not the time. Do you agree?
Devastated. I think we're all devastated. I think that the contract structured perfectly so that this is Jones's like essentially 5th year. He's got to show something, and if he doesn't show out, the team's probably not going to play well because they had a tough schedule. Then you draft in a strong QB class, which you'll probably have a better pick in. You draft your quarterback then, and that's.
I was going to ask Rob how he feels about this.
Of course, Rob. Of course.
Well, this is actually the only reason this isn't factored in because I think the ceiling is absolutely sky high, and for AR
Richardson,
and Dable is the exact coach that would get it out of him.
If he fell to 25,
but I see no scenario in which
we gave Jones $40 million. Like it's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But you look at what like the Eagles, they paid Wentz, they drafted Hurts.
Second round is at least possible, not in the first.
True. It was a second round pick. Big difference. But there are scenarios where it's okay to have like the 49ers have been like shuffling through this quarterback thing. It's like, can we just find a fucking they took what was Brock Purdy, 6th round, 7th round?
He was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick.
He was just a fucking project, like I'd throw a dart. And now they're about to roll with him. So like there's value in taking quarterbacks when you don't think you need one.
Yeah.
On that note, everybody got all up in arms because we brought in Hendon Hooker to talk to him. And to me, you do your due diligence on every quarterback. Quarterback's the most important position. Trey Lance is back on the market. And with a young guy, you just do your due diligence because even if you don't draft him, say he falls to you, yes, now you've done your due diligence. But even if you don't draft him, these young quarterbacks might come on the market after 1 year. Look at Willis. Willis is back on the market already. Trey Lance is back on the market possibly.
And another angle, what if Washington takes him and now you feel like you have some intel on the kid because you met with him and whatnot. So there's no downside to getting
a guy like Jalen Hyatt. You pick up
there you go.
On that. Maybe you're picking the quarterback's brain who was throwing to Hyatt to be like, okay, well, this is what So there could be
playing chess, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Spear, you got another one. Now there's no middle ground, right? You have to be elated or devastated.
It's gotta be one of the two. One of the two.
All right, now.
Elated or devastated.
Jeff, I'm gonna swing this to you, Jeff. If we take a center at 25, are you elated or devastated? I think I know the answer here.
I have to say elated because I wouldn't be devastated. And I wouldn't be elated, but I know I wouldn't be devastated because I am in favor of shoring up the interior offensive line. I know we need corner. I know we need receiver. But if they view this center as the guy, as I said, then I am more elated than devastated.
Yeah, fair. I think I know you, but what give us?
Yeah, I mean,
elated,
if I have to pick,
I'm
going to say elated. I think my better word would be relieved. I'd be like, okay,
right.
We don't got to worry about that center spot now.
Fair.
But elated, yeah. If I have to pick one of the two words, it would be elated.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain here, just because I'm gonna spice it up for the show. I would say I'm going to be devastated. In real life, I wouldn't be devastated, but I think
defend your position, Spirit.
Yes,
go ahead.
I think there's value to be had at the center position in rounds 2 and rounds 3, and even in rounds 4. It's a deep center draft, and I don't see any one of these guys as being a star. Like there's no what's his name from? There's no Linderbaum. There's no Kelsey, even though Kelsey was drafted in the 5th round. You get my point. There's no star center out there that's a slam dunk, and that could be the guy. I agree that we need a center. I just don't think it needs to be at 25. I think you can get more important positions and higher ceiling players at 25 than you would get with the center position.
I agree with that.
That's just my take.
But I'd still be elated because I left the runner.
Fair. Hey, I'm trying to spice it up here. Right? We can't agree on everything, guys.
All right, this is
Jeff,
a good one.
Swing it.
This is a real good one.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Tana, would you be
elated or devastated?
Gets worse every time I play it. Elated or devastated if we trade Saquon Barkley on draft night?
By the way, I'm going to answer this, but who did the voiceover for this?
That was me. It was really bad.
He did the ESPN. He did the ESPN.
I didn't realize I was channeling. ESPN used to have this guy brought to you by, and I guess I was watching a lot more ESPN in those days. But yeah.
If we trade Saquon Barkley, would I be elated or I don't think either word's appropriate. I think I'm going to give a word.
That's why it's a tough.
But I think my word would be understanding. If I had to come up with a word, if they were to trade Saquon Barkley, like I would completely understand it. But if I got to pick one, I'd be devastated because I love Saquon and I want in 10 years to be able to look at the Ring of Honor and see Saquon Barkley's name in there. Like I love him. I think he's everything I want a New York Giant to be. I think he's such a big part of the culture of this team, one of the biggest leaders, and definitely he's more to me than just a running back. Like he's an important player to this football team. So I'd be understanding. Like I would be like, yeah, I understand that he's a running back. He's had injuries. He's 26. You don't want to pay the guy. You want to get what you can. But me, deep down, I want to see Saquon back. I want him to get that 2 or 3 year commitment, and I want to roll it back with him. So I'd be devastated if I got to pick one of the two, but I wouldn't be screaming.
Yeah, I hear you. For me, I was sitting here defending Barkley as a number 2 pick. It wasn't his fault. He got picked at number 2. I've been backing the guy. I truly do believe he is the most special talent at the running back position in the league right now. If he stays healthy, between his pass catching ability and running ability and electric, home run hitting and just his personality altogether, he is the guy. He's the face. I would be devastated, man. I would be devastated. I wouldn't be pissed at Joe Shane. I'd be pissed that Saquon Barkley has to leave the Giants.
Yeah,
that would devastate me. Because
it would feel like, Mr. Glass, because I know you're a Met fan like me. Yeah. It would feel like when we lost DeGrom. It was like you understood it because of his injuries, his age, and he really didn't want to be back here, and he got more money with Texas. So
100%.
It would be very similar to me to the Jake DeGrom thing.
Yep.
I'm with you guys, and definitely way closer to devastated. I understand positional value and all those things, and I think Shane, just seeing how he was talking about it in the press conference, he's not thrilled with the situation. It sounds like. So I would say it's possibly on the table, and you just never know what could happen. He's kind of done some sneaky moves that we didn't see coming, but I think Saquon, with how the Giants offense is built right now, I think he's too important. And I think he, with all the read options that Jones is doing, all the success Jones had on the ground, a lot of it is faking Saquon and having that. And I think it opens up the offense having Saquon there. So it would be a huge gaping hole, in this offense that is very hard to fill with just any old running back. So I would be way closer to devastated.
Yeah, and you think about, we all talk about how Daniel Jones is going to be improved because of the additions to this offense. Think about Saquon Barkley. Like now he has like a real play caller, and now he has help on the outside. He's got Darren Waller. He's got more pieces. Like he could be more explosive next year too. So I really want to give Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley 2 years together. Ideally, like I want to give these guys 2 years and really analyze them and see what they could grow into with 3 years of stability under Dable. So I hope they run it back. Yeah.
One more thing, draft another running back though.
I'm with you on that.
Go into the season with Breida as your only, and fucking Brightwell as your only guys. You have to prepare for the worst if this goes south. And you have to find your Pollard. You have to find your Pollard that's going to be able to take over and be that change of pace, but still electric running back.
And it also helps. It helps keep Saquon fresh.
Yes. Exactly.
I want Pacheco.
Yes, get your Pacheco, man.
Dude, that dude just run like as soon as he gets the ball. It's like get the fuck out of the way. Like, and they got him. Was he 6th round?
He was late.
He was late.
6th or 7th. Yeah, I don't even know. It was late.
Dude, that's the kind of running back that you can supplement and complement with Saquon Barkley, who I think he was a little bit better this year at putting his shoulder down and getting some tough yards. That was kind of frustrating in years past. I think he was a little better with that, more aggressive. But you need a guy who's hungry, fresh legs, rookie, who just wants to run people over, and then let him tire the guys down, keep Saquon fresh. Like, damn, that's dangerous. So I hope they find that guy.
Talked about strengths of this draft. Running back depth is also a strength of this draft.
Strong. Yeah, very
strong. This is where you got to get your guy. This is where you get your guy. But Hefe, roll it. What else do we got here? Do we got any more?
It's back to you. We got 2 more quick ones. I'm
okay.
not gonna play the voiceover thing again because
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Spiro, are you ready? This one's yours.
Okay, cue me up.
Chris, will you be
elated or devastated?
Okay. Would you be elated or devastated if the Giants went defensive lineman again at number 25 now?
I'm going to switch.
No, Sean Robinson after that.
Would I be elated or devastated if the Giants took a defensive lineman at 25? Man, again, neither word.
I know.
Makes sense to me.
It's too much. I know.
Rob, our zero threw out irritated, and I feel like that was.
I can't say devastated because I think we need more help on the defensive line long term. And when you're drafting, you're not drafting just for next year. You're drafting for the next 5 years. And I'm always a big proponent of improving the trenches. You could never have enough pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will not be elated, it's not like my dream pick. My dream pick is probably a corner or wide receiver or a center. But if we end up with Kalijah Kancey, or if we end up with, one of these edge rushers, the DT, I'm not gonna be upset. So again, it's more so like understanding. But if I got to pick one, I'll go with
it. All right. Hefe?
I'm kind of with you just because I don't think there's anything wrong with building a dominant defense. You know what I mean? Like, I think Dable, I have more faith in Dable than I do pretty much in any player. I just don't know how to say it. Like, me and Spirit were talking pre-show, and how it's not just about Daniel Jones. It's Brian Dable. Like, Dable just won basically the MVP of coaches. And that's how I put it, right? Like, that's the kind of coach that we have. So to be able to add so much talent on the defensive side, I think he will scheme up enough offense as we continue to add pieces there. But if you actually add all that raw talent to the defensive side, and then you get into November, December, and January, you can go far with that. So, like, I'm closer to elated on building the trenches and being dominant on defense.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to go against the grain here and disagree with you guys, but I can't because, listen, Leo, the writing's on the wall with Leo Williams. He is probably not going to last. If he stays in his team, right. If he stays in his team this year, that'll be surprising. If he'll definitely be gone next year.
I know. I'd actually be surprised if he's not a Giant this year. I think he'll be a Giant this year. But
I think. But there's a possibility. If they have to.
That would be a desperate move to eat $20 million.
Yeah. Listen, it'd have to be something crazy. But Sean Robinson again. Not under contract next year.
Yep.
Dexter Lawrence might be the only true piece that's under contract next year. So a massive need still.
It's an undercover need. It's an undercover need for the future. You're right.
And what's the hallmark of the Giants? Just keep rotating defensive linemen. And you see in the Eagles do it. They have defensive linemen in spades. So I would not be pissed in the least if the kid.
And the other thing you got me thinking about as you're saying it. Look at the market for defensive linemen. It's ridiculous.
Through the roof.
The Giants are like, well, Leo's not going to be back next year, and we don't want to spend $20 million to get a guy like Dalvin Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
And they like Kancey in the first round, and they can pay him $2 million. Like, I understand it. So, I'd be closer to it.
It's smart. It's smart.
Last one.
It's a big one.
Chris, would you be
elated or devastated
if the Giants trade out of the first round?
Out of the first round,
move on back
altogether.
No first round picks.
I'd be happy with it. So I'll say elated. I mean, it's all circumstantial. It depends who's there at 25. It depends what we get.
Yes.
But under the right circumstance, if I feel it's good value, if I feel that there was not like a home run, like if Porter Jr.'s there, like, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
But if there's like no like unforeseen guy that shouldn't be there at 25 and it's kind of status quo, and a team wants to trade up for, say, I don't know, like Hendon Hooker, or, a quarterback, they want to move up from say 24 to 25, or whatever it may be. Will Levis, if he were to fall, and we were to drop back say 9-10 spots, and we get more value, we get future draft capital. And then you're kind of in a position where you could do whatever the hell you want. Like nobody can complain at that point if you want to take John Michael Schmitz or whatever. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. So yeah, I'm always about picking up value, especially when it makes sense, and I think it could make sense.
You're right. Circumstances, like you would imagine it would be a team behind you who wants to jump up and maybe grab someone, but not necessarily. If it's a team that already picked in the first and they're trying to get back in, they might give up next year's first to be able to do that. So
it depends how far, but you jump back.
Right. Yeah. Giants could be out of first round grades by everyone who's gone and say, all right, let's pile up draft picks, get another second, and then a first next year, and be like, okay, we're like, how great was that knowing through the painful year that we had that Bears first round pick, like watching the Bears and just seeing how it unraveled. Like that was awesome knowing you had an extra first round pick.
Well, especially because we sucked. So that's what we had.
That is after 4 weeks, we started looking at April again. But I think it's circumstantial, but I'm down for Trader Joe to make some moves. Spiro, what do you think?
And further, I'd also be equally elated if we traded up. If the right situation was there, like if we moved up to 19 or 20 and we were able to get
your guy, whoever it is,
we got Porter Jr. or Banks, and you gave up a third to do it, I'd be completely fine with that too. So I could see both scenario where I'd be happy.
I'm gonna go Skip Bayless here and just be the opposition again because this is what I'm gonna do.
Good.
I want to see a draft pick on that first night. I want to see a draft pick. I want a first rounder.
Tell us why.
And because that fifth year, man, it's if you get your guy and you know he's your guy, getting that extra fifth year of under team control is so huge sometimes. Look at Dexter Lawrence. We don't necessarily have to pay him this year because we have that fifth year option. We theoretically didn't have to pay Daniel Jones if we didn't want to in a better scenario because he had that fifth year. I think that fifth year is so massive, keeping somebody under a good control. Because theoretically, if there's even a thought about keeping him, that means he's played good for at least 2 of the first 5 years. So having that fifth year, and part of me, my little boy inside of me, like I love.
Boss.
I want to sit through that whole first night, and at the end of when the 25th pick comes up, I'd just be like, oh no, we don't even get the.
I know. We already waited 2.5 hours.
Like the fan in you is like, I don't want to sit through 4 hours and not have a player.
Yes, exactly.
Like the GM in you is like,
I'm being totally unrealistic. I understand this. Yeah. But listen, when you call a spade, having more cracks at this, having more bites at the apple is a smart thing to do. Having more second and third round picks is smart, and if you get the right package, do it. But it hurt me a little bit. The little boy in me would hurt.
It would kind of be
like this. It makes sense because at least according to the experts, they're like weathermen, like they don't
pretty
know
much
half the time. But
shit, bro.
But according to the experts, like this is a draft where like most teams have a first round grade on like 15 prospects,
right? So, and then everybody else is bunched in.
Feels like it's more condensed towards the middle in terms of where you're going to get your value. Mm-hmm. If you could trade back and get future draft capital, it just makes a lot of sense.
It's smart.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
All right.
I don't know.
Hold on. One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing here. I do want to go through something because, as you know, it was only 2 weeks ago that we did our people's mock draft, right? Mm-hmm. And we picked the top 10, and already since then, it already seems like some of these picks aren't looking.
There's been some movement. Yeah.
There's been some news. There's been some rumors. So, like as usual, anything can happen here. So let's take a look. Love that noise. That has nothing to do with what I wanted to show you. But we should be able to talk over this.
There you go.
Yes.
CJ Stroud. There's rumors of Bryce Young.
Young is going to go 1. That's what it sounds like.
Young's going to go 1.
So it's off.
So that throws up the whole thing.
We know NYG Mason.
Right, I got a question for you. If Richardson goes 3, but it's not to the Cardinals, does he still get credit for that pick?
We'll have to discuss that.
I'm
going to say no. I'm going to say no because
has to be the Cardinals.
Yes, it has to be the team. But look, Nick is pretty on point with Will Levis. I think he will go to the Colts. That one seems like a slam dunk. Will Anderson, I don't know if he makes it to Seattle.
Wow.
Bobby made the smart pick
there. That could be a Cardinals move.
Yeah, the Cardinals picking up a guy.
Monty looks good.
Monty's looking good with Witherspoon at 6.
Tana, how you feeling?
You're looking good.
Raiders, but because Here's what I'll say about the Raiders. I love the pick in that mock, but in real life, I feel like one of those quarterbacks is going to fall to them, and I could easily see them taking Anthony Richardson with that 7th. But if they're not going quarterback, I'm confident that with my pick.
I will say this about Oakland, and it's a kind of job that might save what's his face over there, fuckface McDaniel. If you draft a young quarterback, you can say, "Hey, I'm developing him." If he shows even an inkling of high end potential in that first year, that buys you another year. Yeah. You can say, "Listen, this is my guy. I brought him in. He's got star potential."
If you're Pat Shermer,
Good point.
Yes,
good point.
Yes, true, very true.
That was actually my argument for why I was so confident that we were going to bring Daniel Jones back. Like, a lot of people are like, you're putting your job on the line for Daniel Jones if you're Dable and Shane. I actually felt like it was an insurance policy to buy themselves more time to build up the rest of the team. Like, I feel like they have no pressure on their job now for the next 2 years. Like, if Jones is bad, then you could always go to Mara and be like, "Listen, that wasn't our guy."
It was your guy, Mara.
Our next guy. Yes.
You wanted him, Mara.
I think that they wanted to bring him back.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But they could always be like,
"Listen,
there's
definitely some truth to that.
These last 2 years to improve the team. Now let me go and bring in my quarterback." So it's why it was always pretty obvious to me that it made as the season progressed that it made sense, because it's
to take
it. When it comes to decisions like that, I try to think from the mind of the general manager.
Yes.
And as much as you may not want to think that way as a fan, as a GM, your job is to try to make sure you keep your job.
To keep your job.
Yes.
It is the gig you've been working for your whole career.
And the safest path in terms of prolonging his opportunity to stay in as the general manager for the Giants for the next 10 years was to roll with Jones for a few more years.
I think, so true. And I think there's a couple things in their favor. One, Mara doesn't want to shuffle coach and GM again after 2 years. Definitely not. Yeah. But I think he also saw the landscape of the NFC, saw that they could already be competitive with Jones. All the elite quarterbacks are in the AFC, unless you consider Jalen Hurts elite. But you can look at the NFC and say, Daniel Jones is going to keep us afloat. Like, we're going to win at least 8 we're not going to be in the toilet where we're going to get fired. So I think it's a really good point that it was a little bit of a job security move, but also the way they structured it was this buys us at least 2 years to build up the roster. And then you can kind of decide in that third year, do we go for the higher end prospect, or do we keep rolling?
Or does Jones become the higher end prospect?
Or does he become that guy?
He could take that next step. There's so many ways that this could go right. And even if it goes wrong, they built in that fail safe where they could get out of it in year 3. But hey, listen, it's going to be a fun night on Thursday night. Remember, there is money on the line. If you guys nail these picks, we're going to throw out some cash to you guys.
Big money.
You guys, big money. And you guys also pick the Giants picks too. So we're going to live tweet from the Revival account.
Flowers, I think. Which I don't make that pick. Hey, but I did take flowers.
Crazier things have happened. It might happen. There's some buzz there. There's some smoke there. So
real quick, this is Zach Wilson being asked about the Jets signing a veteran for you.
And say, look, we're going to keep you. We like you. We're going to develop you, but we're signing veteran X to be our starter.
Yeah, I'm going to make that dude's life hell in practice every day. Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Good luck, Zach.
So
good luck, bro. You're cleaning his jockstrap.
There's word like, so would you go into the season with Zach Wilson as your number 2 after what happened last year? Like,
only by necessity.
Can you even show face? Like, God forbid Rodgers gets hurt. How are you going to throw a Zach Wilson in there who the whole team quit on?
If I could get anything for Zach Wilson, I would trade him.
Yeah, he has like no value whatsoever.
Yeah, if you could even get like a 3rd round pick for him,
I don't even know. Yeah,
like the Cardinals were able to get, I think, a 3rd for Rosen. If you were able to get something like that, I would trade.
They should take a 3rd round pick immediately. I think he's a baby back bitch. I don't think he's going anywhere. So another one real quick to wrap up the Rangers Devils series. This was filmed 28 years ago, but it feels pretty relevant today.
Dude, timeless Seinfeld, though.
So good. Seinfeld is so
best.
Good.
It's timeless.
Did you ever see what's the spin-off to Seinfeld?
Curb?
Curb
Your Enthusiasm.
Curb is fantastic.
I might
Larry
even like.
David is a damn genius.
I like that as much as Seinfeld.
I think I like it more than Seinfeld.
Exactly, and you could see the influence that he had on like the Seinfeld, like the way little bits of the storyline are all tied together at the end somehow in some hilarious way, and it all comes together in the last 30 seconds. Like absolutely brilliant comedy, completely brilliant comedy.
Seinfeld's character was based off of Larry David, right?
I think it was actually George's character.
Oh, is that's what it was?
Yes.
George's character, yeah.
Fucking best. All right, well, listen. First of all, Tana, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. You're always welcome. You're the keys to this show. You are our rock buddy. And listen, we will be with you. What are you doing on Thursday? Any plans?
Thursday I'll be streaming on my channel. I'll be doing
streaming.
All right, so join this motherfucker over here because he is the best. He does great shit. And listen, Rangers are going to be on at 7:30, leading you right up into that draft. So we have a big
and the
night
Knicks
of sports.
Too. I know Knicks are playing Friday.
Knicks are tomorrow night.
Wednesday, Friday.
Hopefully we don't.
Hopefully they close it out. Hopefully that we don't even have to worry about Friday night. Let's go New York Knicks. Carry us home and let's go Rangers. Get back in the series. And Giants fans, we'll be there with you, tweeting out the picks. We love you. Enjoy yourself on Thursday. Hefe, you got anything else, man? We're gonna wrap
Thank
this
you,
up?
Tana. We love you, baby. Go get some Revival merch. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, all these guys shirts, man. I don't even have merch, man. But they have great merch.
Hey, we might have to send you something.
Well, we'll send you one.
I was talking about my own merch. Actually, this is but
nice.
You guys got some good merch though. I saw Tiki Barber was wearing your shirt. That was fun.
Hey, Tiki's a man.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. I see Rob in the chat. He said like 8 times, Tana, I love you. I love you on Twitter because it's fun. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you for everybody for watching, all the support. You know what I always say.
I love you, man.
You guys are great. Looking forward to doing this with you again. I think we said we'll do this monthly. So whenever you guys want to come on, you let me know and try to get you guys on my channel soon too. So I appreciate you guys.
Let's go Mets. Mets look like shit tonight, but
I didn't get to watch. I know they lost their last 2 to the Giants. They lost again tonight.
Yeah, big West Coast trip though. 7-3. That's a long season though.
Get your act together though. Let's go. We got the highest payroll. You better start winning.
Get your act together. All right, boys, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. And buy that merch. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, Tana. Later, guys.
Later.